Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Pikmin 2! Last episode, we finished off the shower room and the boss. And this episode we returned back to the Perplexing pool to basically finish off the area and try to get the path cleared to the last dungeon in this area. As you know, we're also getting very close to clearing the debt. So with that last dungeon, we will clear that debt. And that's probably going to be a few episodes from this one. Anyway, the last few had co-commentary, just because that could happen. Obviously, that's not the case with this one, as I'm the only one who's been speaking. Not sure how often co-commentary is going to be a thing. Actually, I listened back in some of the co-commentary, and although it didn't really have much of anything to do with what was going on, I did enjoy doing it, and so, I guess by now there would have probably been some responses, because I know that was very different, for these videos. It's definitely not the norm, and it's probably not going to be the norm either. But I think it's fun that that can happen still. So maybe that'll happen roughly for half or less of episodes from this point on. I'm not really sure, we'll see. Anyway, over here, this is another puzzle, and this time I will actually be able to describe it because I can stay on topic. One of the things you can't really do in co-commentary, or at least we haven't trained ourselves to do yet over here. This one you need yellows and blues for, which is why I brought an evenly matched party of 50-50. Basically, you gotta take out that electric fence, but blues can't do it because it's on the water, so what you had to do is build that bridge, which we did yesterday, so that we could bring yellows over and toss them over that part in the wall. And when they're there, have one captain walk around this way, call them, and guide them. Basically, we'll walk around and they'll just follow our movements. I know there's some stuff that got glossed over in the shower room, a lot of new content. I'm not going to go and redub those episodes or anything just so you can be informed about every little thing. However, I am going to mention a few of the things that I did kind of not think about too much at the time. On the first floor, you might have noticed on the first floor of the shower room, there were a couple places where there would be a shadow and then a boulder would fall. Obviously, any Pikmin that gets underneath that is going to be squished. That's a new dungeon hazard that's first appeared in the shower room, but it's going to appear more frequently later on. It's not the most frequent hazard in the game, though. Really, it's odd that that's not a more common trap. So that's the falling rock trap. There were also the jelly float enemies. They're the lesser spotted ones. The lesser spotted jelly floats are the weaker, smaller jelly floats, and there was a greater spotted jelly float, which was only on the third floor of the dungeon. It held a treasure. I think it was a crystal ball of some kind. And basically the deal with jelly floats is that they're very weak enemies for this reason. That they can't kill Pikmin instantly. What happens is they'll try and use this wind to draw the Pikmin inside of them. And then after that happens, by the way, once the yellows finish the wall, you definitely want to call them back, otherwise they'll drown. And then just throw them back over the wall. But once a jelly float has drawn Pikmin into their body, it'll take them a minute or more to digest the Pikmin and actually kill them. So that makes them very easy to defeat because you have so much time to deal with each one, despite the fact that they have so much HP, just for the fact that they can't really kill any of your Pikmin that efficiently. Now, I think, in order to get this treasure, and also take down that wall, maybe it's best that Louie just goes back and swaps up those yellows for more blues. For once, I think I'm probably going to be able to do this place. Or at least I should say my second visit to this place. Damn it, how am I going to say this? I'll be able to do the Perplexing pool in 4 days due to this strategy. I've been more careful about how I've been swapping Pikmin in and out. Also, about the greater spotty jelly float, the purple-colored one, one of the problems with it is it's not only going to swallow your Pikmin, and of course, not only does it have more HP, it has a lot of HP, more than most bosses by a long shot. It can also swallow up your captains, which I think happened briefly, and that does do a bit of damage to your captain unless you, twirl the control stick to escape its grasp. Incidentally, that's also how you, escape the grasp of a bumbling snitch bug that's grabbed you. That's not easy to do for both captains, because the bumbling snitch bug can grab both captains at once. If that happens, you gotta twirl with one control stick, and usually I would use that first captain that freed himself to go take a Pikmin crowd and knock down the bumbling snitch bug to defeat it. But really, that's up to you. If you're more desperate, you can switch to the other captain, and then use the control stick again to twirl the captain to safety, for lack of a better way of putting it. And also, I found it very interesting that I remember doing that exact maneuver there with the blues, where I, paused to get the leaves away from the flowers. I think in the episode before we went into the shower room, I did that exact maneuver. I'm just getting this weird sense of deja vu, but after you play the game as many times as I have, it shouldn't be such a surprise. And yes, that black stick wall is still taking a long time to break down. Not sure if I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure I did, but yes, ultra spicy spray is very crucial. Or at least very, very useful for taking out those black stick walls much more quickly. But even without it, if you split up your Pikmin and work efficiently with double captains, you can do it without sprays, just like that. In fact, sometimes with sprays, it will still take longer if you're not multitasking properly. It's really all about the multitasking. And here we have a pair of Hermit Crawdads to deal with. I like these enemies. They aren't as common as I would like, but it makes sense that they'd be found here in the Perplexing Pool. They also have a random size distribution, like some Hermit Crawdads that spawn are going to be a lot larger than others. As you can see, this one is actually larger than that one over there. Still, they have the same amount of HP, and the abilities are the same. So, really, I don't know why they did that. It's just, I'm pretty sure that's only something that happens with this enemy. And now that those are out of the way and their little holes have crumbled, we have some water dumples to deal with, the evil, wicked dumples that have given me so much trouble. In addition to a withering blowhog, I believe this is actually the first above-ground withering blowhog we'll have fought, so I guess that accounts for something. Yep, those things were also found in the shower room. The shower room isn't that bad a dungeon, to be perfectly honest. The only reason that I lost so many Pikmin was because of the stupid way I decided to fight the boss. Now, over here, very interesting puzzle. You see these four raising and lowering platforms? Well, every other platform is connected. So that basically means if you're looking at them from left to right, like I am currently, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 3 are connected, and 2 and 4 are connected. So what you want to do is first have one captain stand on the farthest one, 4, and then hit the second one to raise the captain up. Only then can he walk over to the next, because each one is slightly tilted, meaning only if he's on the higher one and the next one is lower can he walk forwards. It's kind of an odd puzzle, but it really is a lot of fun. Now, in order to raise up a platform 3, we somehow gotta get a Pikmin on top of platform 1. It's kind of high, but I managed to do it, so that's pretty awesome. You do want to be careful, though. Now that we have the Mega Tweeter upgrade that we got from the shower room that gives us a bigger whistle, don't be be more careful with how you whistle, because otherwise, what's going to happen, and look, we can't just walk forwards because of how it's currently positioned. We're going to have to throw a Pikmin on top of platform 1 because I hit both of those by mistake. If you're not careful with the Mega Tweeter, it's pretty much going to call everything, and that means it might call back Louie, for example, and then we'd have to do the puzzle all over again. So do be cautious of that. Now that that platform's lowered, Louie can walk on top of it, and now we want to raise Louie up to that cement area there, or concrete, or whatever. So in order to raise platform 1, just hit platform 3, because 1 and 3 are connected, 2 and 4 are connected. Now Louie can walk up onto the concrete, or whatever that structure is, and then have Olimar toss the blue Pikmin up to Louie, and then he'll... Okay, never mind, I didn't... It's kind of tough to get the angle right. Jeez, my throw arc is really messed up. I'd better be careful, like, calling them back when I do call them back, because, like I said, don't want to call back Louie. Wow. Yeah, jeez, did I do this puzzle wrong? I'm pretty sure this is how it's done. This is just a horrible throw arc. Maybe I should just calm down and try and aim more carefully. Is that a good distance? Yeah, there we go. Now, all the blue Pikmin are going to be right to Louie, and Louie should be able to take them without a problem to the treasure. Over here, just toss them up, and they'll bring it down. I really like that puzzle, just because it takes more thought than all the others in the game, and it really isn't that complicated at all, but I just think that there's so much more potential for fun puzzles like that, even if they are kind of stupid. For more fun puzzles like that in the Pikmin series, I think it's a good thing. It's a different way to play the game, because sure, there's strategy, thinking about what you're going to do next, but there's so much more potential that can be worked with, and I think that's a good example of it. And then the swooping snitch bugs are going to be on our way on the way back because they've respawned, but if we're lucky, they might just ignore us, because I don't believe they're that perceptive, really. They seem to, wherever they are, like all enemies, they're going to have a sphere of influence, or a sphere of noticing where you are. This is probably most noticeable with dwarf bulborbs of different varieties. Each one has a different level of perceptiveness. Like snow bulborbs are going to take a long time to notice where you are. Dwarf red bulborbs will notice you a little bit more soon. Dwarf orange bulborbs have an average amount of perceptiveness, like they can tell if you're there for like a second or so. And dwarf bulbears will see you coming from a little bit further away. So that's how perceptiveness figures into that. I guess it's almost a sort of stat, if you will. And that being said, due to the way I've cut the episode, we're going to continue getting this treasure back to the ship. next episode. So, I guess I'll see you then.